This video is going to show you how to do a few problems on the calorimetry practice worksheet. Calorimetry is all about accounting for heat. And so in this example right here, we're going to look at the heat lost by one item and compare it to the heat gained by another item. And so we're going to keep in mind that heat lost is going to be equal to heat gained. And don't forget this minus sign. We're going to assign it to the side that loses heat. So this one loses heat, we'll give it the minus sign. This one gains heat, it'll have the positive sign. Now we can keep track of heat by using calorimetry and using the MCAT formula. So again, don't forget this minus sign. MC delta T is going to equal the positive MC delta T. So we're going to count this side as the cold water side, and we'll count this side as the hot water side. Alright, so we have this example right here, and it says a 30-gram sample of water at 280 K is mixed with 50 grams of water at 300 K. Calculate the final temperature of the mixture, assuming no heat is lost to the surroundings. Alright, so we're going to use the formula of negative MC delta T is equal to the cold water MC delta T. So on the left hand side we're going to plug in everything that has to do with the hot water, and on the right hand side we're going to plug in everything that has to do with the cold water. Alright, I'm going to leave the minus sign out here and then use parentheses. So negative 50 grams for the hot water, and C for water is 4.18, and that's joules per gram Celsius. And then the delta T. Now remember, delta T is always going to be TF minus TI. And so in this case, the TI is given to us, so we'll plug in the number for the TI. And that is going to be 27. So 27. On the other side, we're going to use 30 grams for the cold water times the same specific heat for water, 4.18 joules per gram degree Celsius. And then we're going to use the same formula again, TF minus the TI. And in this case, it was a 7. Now you may be wondering where 27 and 7 came from. Well, because the C is in joules per gram degree Celsius, we have to calculate in Celsius. So I converted the Kelvin temperatures to Celsius. Alright, so now it just takes a matter of solving for TF. Now I'll just show you some easy math here. Since you have 4.18 on both sides, let's just cross it off. Okay, so we have removed that. So now distribute the 50 grams to the TF, and then negative 50 times the negative 27, and do the same on the other side. And we should get a final TF after you do all the algebra as 19.5 degrees Celsius. Alright, we're going to use the same concept here of keeping track of the heat. But this time it's a little bit different in that we've got a hot metal is going to lose the heat and it's going to go to the cold water. Okay, so we're going to use the same math that we did before, that for the hot metal we'll have negative MC delta T. That's all about the metal, and the other side will be all about the water. Alright, so since the metal's losing, that's going to have the negative sign to it. Now, our goal here is we're trying to solve for C. We're going to solve for C of the metal, so that's going to be our variable. Alright, so I'm going to put the negative sign here on the outside, and the metal's mass was 28.2 grams. The C we don't know, so I'll just leave it as the variable. And the change in temperature, the final temperature is going to be the same for both. They are both going to come to 25 degrees Celsius, but the metal initial temperature was 98.8. Alright, on the other side, the water's mass was 150 grams, and the specific heat of water, we know it to be 4.18. And then we need the change in temperature of the water, and that would be, it changes from 25 to 23.5. Alright, so now we're just going to use our algebra and solve for C, and in the end you will see that C is equal to 0.452 joules per gram degrees Celsius. Okay, this should be enough for you to get a little bit of practice in on that practice worksheet. Remember, the answers are also on our Google Classroom site, so you can check your answers. In class, we'll go over if you have any questions on the ones on the bottom, we'll talk about those, because those have to do with the reaction occurring in water.